Hello, it's David Allen and you are watching Sporting Icons.
Now, as per my last video yesterday where I reported to you guys about the British Boxing Board of Control have ordered a whole bunch of fights, and some very, very good ones, by the way. And I said that one of them with Hughie Fury being ordered to take on Joe Joyce to defend his British heavyweight title. For me, I felt it's unlikely that Hughie Fury would relish that kind of fight, and likewise with Joe Joyce as well, because these guys have shared the ring on plenty of occasions during sparring. These guys have built up a bit of a friendship. Well, we've yet to hear from Hughie Fury. Of course, he's still in the process of, of accepting defeat for his last fight with Kubrat Pulev. But he is still British heavyweight champion, so he needs to decide whether or not he wants to keep that belt or take on Joe Joyce. This is his only options now. Vacate and avoid Joe Joyce, or keep the belt and fight Joe Joyce. Now, it's very possible and very likely, I believe, that Hughie Fury will say, listen, I've been on the world stage and that's where I want to stay. So he could end up relinquishing the heavyweight title. But with Joe Joyce, he says that he accepts the challenge. He welcomes the challenge. And he did point out that he respects and likes Hughie and his dad Peter Fury a lot. But this is business. And I accept the challenge. Now, of course, I'll put that article in the description box for you all to have a read of the entire article and Joe Joyce's full statement within it. So this is very interesting. Joe Joyce is willing to take on Hughie Fury. So at least that part is done. Now it's a situation of Hughie has no voluntaries. He must defend it against Joe Joyce. But I would imagine he's probably going to vacate it. Not because he doesn't want to fight Joe Joyce or anything, but I think it's because he's already had a world title fight with Joseph Parker, and he's been on the world stage again against Kubrat Pulev. And because of an eye injury, he lost all kind of focus within the Kubrat Pulev fight. Now, I'm not saying that he would have beat Kubrat Pulev anyway, because he certainly wasn't the favourite to do so. But I think that now he's had a taste for it, he's going to want to continue with that one. And I know that if he was to vacate it, then Joe Joyce will still want that title. Now, Joe Joyce is the Commonwealth heavyweight champion as well. So it's a case of unify the belts. That's what they want. But if Hughie Fury does relinquish that title, then I would imagine it would be Dave Allen that could well step in. Or it could well be Nathan Gorman. It could be Nick Webb. It could be Daniel Dubois. There's a whole host of heavyweights that it could possibly be next in line to take on Joe Joyce for the potential vacant heavyweight title. Now, it is a little bit surprising to me that Joe Joyce would accept this challenge. Number one, because he's good friends. And number two, because he's out there in America, he's looking to take on the world elite. This is what he's consistently said recently. And he even said it yesterday. He posted on Instagram where he says that we'll fight any man. But as I said on that post, it's a case of, right, okay, so you're fighting on the Wilder Fury undercard on December the 1st. And you're taking on Joe Hanks. When you've got Luis Ortiz on the card, could have fought him. You've got Chris Arreola on the card, could have fought him. So I'm not too sure if he really does mean what he says when he says, I will take on anyone. I think Joe Joyce is kind of getting to the point now, and I am a fan of his, by the way, and I'd love him to prove me wrong, but I think he's kind of getting to the point now where he will just call out anybody, knowing full well that fight isn't going to happen, to make it look like he's willing to fight anybody. But yeah, he's got a perfect opportunity there to fight Luis Ortiz. When he said, I want to fight Luis Ortiz, I'll fight him next. And he's going to fight on the same card. Now, I know this is a PBC thing. They don't like putting their fighters in together so much. They want to keep Luis Ortiz fresh, hence the reason why they put him in with Travis Kaufman. And Joe Joyce, he's newly signed to the PBC with Al Heyman. So, of course, they want to keep him away from Luis Ortiz. They don't want either of these guys to take an L anytime soon. But is there any reason why Joe Joyce couldn't have fought Chris Arreola? Chris Arreola, as far as I'm aware, still has yet to have an opponent. I mean, he may have right now. The last time I looked was about a week or so ago. But he may already have an opponent. But if he hasn't, I would prefer Joe Joyce to take on Chris Arreola than take on Joe Hanks. No disrespect to Joe Hanks, but I don't think he's any kind of world beater. And this isn't really a step forward for Joe Joyce, considering he wants to be fast-tracked at his age. You know, he's already the wrong side of 30. So he needs these kind of other fights to really start making a push. But for him to take on Hughie Fury, I would like to see that fight. I really would. Likewise, I'd like to see Joe Joyce in with Dave Allen, or a Daniel Dubois, or Nathan Gorman. Now, I don't think Frank Warren would risk either of those fights against Joe Joyce. Likewise, I don't think Frank Warren would risk Nathan Gorman versus Daniel Dubois either. So everything's up in the air at the minute. Hopefully we get some kind of answer or response from Hughie Fury. As I said, he's going through the whole mourning process, I suppose, after losing in Bulgaria to Kubrat Pulev. So I suppose the last thing on his mind is what he's going to do next. It's a case of, get that whole thing out of his system if necessary. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. So that's the news. I'll put that article in the description box as always. Go give it a read, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.